Well, mining and energy are crucial to the economy. Mining contributes around 8% to the country's GDP. On the other hand, without reliable energy, the economy is doomed. The question is, did Ramaphosa strike the right chord with regards to the energy and mining sectors? Well, to answer this and other related questions, we're joined by Patrick Leyden, a corporate lawyer who specializes in mining and energy in sub-Saharan Africa. Good morning to you, Patrick. We know that the president spoke quite a bit about the energy sector, but I want to focus now on mining first. We know that mining GDP has declined, and there were some things that you were hoping would come up in the State of the Nation address. What were your thoughts and what was your takeaway from the conversation surrounding mining?
Good morning, and good morning to your viewers. Look, I think it was no surprise that this year's SONA and the President's address focused primarily on COVID, the effects of COVID, the rollout of the vaccine, and really economic recovery. That unemployment figure that he mentioned of 30.8% is alarming. It's almost 1 in every 3 South Africans is currently unemployed. But I think on the issue of economic recovery, I was somewhat surprised that he didn't mention the mining industry at all. The mining industry, as you mentioned, has historically been a significant and currently a significant contributor to GDP and employment in South Africa. And it has been plagued by a number of issues in recent years. These issues include regulatory uncertainty, a lack of investment into greenfield projects, into new projects in the sector, energy constraints, and just to put that into some kind of perspective, from 2018 to 2020, the industry shed 50,000 jobs. Real output was reduced by 10%, and alarmingly, there was 45% reduction, almost half, 50% reduction in capex into the sector, which is essentially your new investment into new projects as well as existing projects. So, it certainly was surprising for me to see that mining was not mentioned at all. The other sector, which is also within the natural resources sector, was the oil and gas industry, the upstream oil and gas industry. I mean, as you know, there were 2 significant discoveries off the coast of South Africa last year in the Brulpadda as well as the Leyden blocks. And this is a potential game changer for South Africa. From employment, from an investment perspective, and as well as gas to power, putting baseload electricity into the grid, which will certainly assist in relieving South Africa's current energy crisis.
Staying with the energy crisis, the president did mention that Eskom were looking to collaborate with more energy producers, independent energy producers. Do you think that this is the right strategy, and are you confident that this will actually happen?
The president mentioned that the emergency procurement bid, IPP, has gone out to procure an additional 2,000 megawatts, that there will, as he said, announce successful bids in due course. There's also plans to create another 11,800 megawatts. I think what was quite helpful is the president mentioned that they were looking to increase the embedded generation threshold, so essentially alleviate some of the regulatory burden around producers who are producing for themselves. Now, this was really important for the mining industry, where they're saying, if we can produce our own energy, whether it be via renewables or battery, please make our lives easier and relax that regulation and the thresholds around having to apply for those licenses. And the president specifically mentioned that. So that to me was certainly a positive.
And he also mentioned that they were looking at producing electric cars. And we've heard a number of opposition parties saying that now is not really the time to be focusing on this when we've got a major electricity crisis. The president has said that we could look forward to 5 more years of load shedding. I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think this is the time to be looking into producing electric cars?
Look, I think the world is moving that way. Do we want to be a front runner, or do we want to follow the rest of the world? So to me, it's important that as part of our economic recovery, that we place ourselves in a position where we are front of market. And so whilst the energy crisis is a massive concern, we can't neglect our other industries, like I've mentioned. and the energy crisis, the strides that have been made in dealing with or addressing the energy crisis will certainly help. So I think, we need to encourage all industry, and we need to encourage investment into South Africa in order to really promote economic recovery and get ourselves out of the economic crisis in which we find ourselves.